Hello YouTube, this is DVD Review Studios here, and today I'm going to be doing a random kind of video, a rant of sorts. I am sure many of you are familiar with the drama/sitcom The Office, whether it be the UK version or the US incarnation of the series. And then there's this anomaly, Stromberg, which is a German-based series which I'd heard great things about, which funnily enough my relatives who live in the Netherlands really enjoy this show. And from what I have read, it's not intended to be a copy of The Office. It's not supposed to be one of those kind of shows. It was just made to be very similar. And from what I had read online, apparently the BBC threatened the show's creators with a lawsuit, which resulted in Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, who created the original The Office, getting their names on the credits of this show, saying the series was inspired by The Office, which is kind of interesting. But Stromberg began in 2004, it ran for 5 seasons and a movie, and overall has fairly positive reviews for the most part, and was looking to be very funny. Sounds like it's worth checking out, right? Well, I tried, and I knew the show had German dialogue, and I was really hoping it would have English subtitles, and unfortunately not. And so in this video, I thought I'd really just express my disappointment and overall frustration behind this series not being adaptable. And I did some research online looking into the series in relation to just an English subtitle version. And it does look to be very difficult to find subtitles for a lot of German shows in general, whether that be translation or just German subtitles regardless. And from some of the opinions expressed on this series in particular, this was looking to be a prominent show for, I guess, kind of learning German, but it doesn't really work all that well without having the native subtitles of your chosen language, I guess, which was a shared kind of disappointment and overall opinion from what I had read online. And it is a shame, as foreign-based media often really does broaden the horizons for its sort of unique characters and storytelling. For example, the series Squid Game, to jump onto something, I guess, more topical at the present. Very bizarre show, but with it being a subtitle series with it originating in South Korea, it has Korean dialogue, but it has English subtitles, which makes it accessible. I mean, to the point where even with like an English dub, no matter how poor that may be, it's still accessible.
Hey, don't touch me! How about you leave me alone? Can't you see I'm trying to think?
I suppose you could argue and say it's my own shortcoming for obviously not being German, where I could learn the German language, which is true. On the other hand, adding a subtitle track for the series for a general audience outside of those who can understand German is surely going to be more lucrative and beneficial. And from the bits I've read about the show, it really does have a unique spin on the typical sort of Office-style sitcom. I did, funnily enough, locate a copy of some English subtitles made for just the first episode, which was a downloadable .srt file, and from my understanding, it was a fan-made kind of project, again, just to make the first episode watchable. And if you use something like VLC Media Player, if you were to watch a disc of this on your computer or something of the sort, you do thankfully have the option to import a subtitle file, which is helpful for obvious reason. And so the rest of the series, aside from the movie Stromberg the film, none of it has any subtitles at all. And I did a bit more research online. It appears Netflix had the show at one point with German and English subtitles attached. I also checked on Amazon Prime, which you can purchase individual episodes of this series for streaming purposes, where most episodes have a closed caption option in English. Whether this would be an accurate translation, I doubt it. For what I could watch of the show, the first episode I genuinely really enjoyed. It encapsulated the perfect blend of cringe comedy with the character of Bert Stromberg, the office manager, played by Christoph Maria Herbst, representing the sort of typical David Brent or Michael Scott office manager figure. I thought was absolutely fantastic, and I wouldn't necessarily say this series kind of ripped off The Office, but there are some very clear elements of inspiration. The opening episode is kind of similar for introducing certain characters such as Ulf and Ernie, who kind of represent the Tim and Gareth office pranksters. And rather than hiding office equipment in jelly, Ulf's phone is hidden inside a paper bin. Not that funny, but the translated dialogue does make up for this.
Hatten wir erst 12 Mal.
Ulf, das ist ja nun wirklich nicht mit Ernie. Wie gesagt, das ist alles hier wie Kirmes.
I also really liked the character of Tanya, who appears to be the sort of love interest style character like Dawn or Pam, who is the primary focus of the first episode to an extent. And some of the camera shots are very similar to the UK office in particular, such as the intermission parts of ambient kind of office life. With that said, there are some strikingly obvious differences, such as rather than the characters working for a paper company, it's an insurance firm, but still obviously a typical kind of office environment. And the plot for the first episode thankfully does not copy anything remotely close to what the UK or US versions have to offer. The episode is titled Der Parkplatz, meaning the car park. And throughout the episode, the character of Stromberg is trying to basically get a better parking space for himself, going as far as bribing the car park attendant named Helpers with cigars, who, funnily enough, struggles with asthma. And so Helpers is accidentally hospitalized through this, where Stromberg only goes and, again, accidentally drives into Helper's wife's car. Pretty crazy A-plot considering the nature of just a sort of mundane kind of office scenario. Obviously, it's based on hyperbole, it's purposefully made to be as exaggerated as possible, which I think is quite amusing for a show like this, with a very calm kind of side story with Ernie trying to figure out who was responsible for making graffiti of Tanya in the female toilets, which is basically just him drawing really bizarre, inappropriate drawings for everyone to see and just embarrasses Tanya, but surprisingly sets up a love triangle between Tanya, Ernie, and Ulf. And I quite liked their shared scenes with Ulf and Ernie trying to compete for Tanya's attention. Lots of really good visual gags throughout, which I thought were quite good. And overall was fairly well-rounded for the unique humour. I was really caught off guard by the opening scene with Stromberg and the IT technician, with a lot of humorous dialogue, such as the asbestos cigarette line, which really got me. And literally I had to pause and just say aloud, wait, what?
Ich glaube, der raucht Asbestzigaretten, so wie der klingt.
Eine nehme ich noch.
But getting back on topic, it's just such a shame the series has not been made available fully worldwide. From the good things that I have heard, and from what I have seen and been able to understand of the series, it sounds like another winning sitcom formula that just shouldn't be held back by the fact that it's in German. I suppose Sony, who I believe had a hand in distributing the series, could perhaps make something possible with regards to a translation in the future. I highly doubt it, considering how old the series is now, but anything is possible. Anyhow, here's a brief look at the box set in itself, series 1 through to 5, and the movie is included. 11 discs in total. There's the spine, and here's the back cover for the DVD set. And here are the two DVD cases from the inside. We have series 1 through to 3, and then series 4 and 5 and the movie. And quite a compact way these are enclosed as well as far as the discs go. They are literally just stacked on top of one another. Not the best way to store them, but again, compact. That's going to wrap up this video looking at the German version of The Office, Stromberg. I hope you did enjoy. Let me know in the comments if you've had the urge to check out the series, and if you now have the urge to check out the first episode thanks to this video, I will leave a link to the .srt file for the episode 1 subtitles. That way, if you wish to find a copy of episode 1, you can then apply these and watch them at your leisure. And for more content, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, DVD Review Studios.
Are you threatening me?